Hello. So, is it working? Let me know. Okay, here I am. It should be working now. I hope you can hear me well, see me well. Hello, welcome to this tour of this usually quiet area of Venice. But there is a young lady over there that is really screaming. But in a moment you will see that it is really a quiet area. Can you please let me know if anyone is there? I can see 10 people, but I would appreciate. Okay, hello, Cynthia. Yes, because here it's on YouTube, it's always a little bit strange. Hi, Mona. Hello, Gregory. Thank you for the feedback. I would say that here on YouTube, it still looks odd for me. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Linda. Thank you. Because I can't see some signal for the microphone or anything else. Hi, Mark. Thank you for everybody for the feedback. So I'm in this area of the district of Castello. Castello is one of the 6 districts in which Venice is divided, and Castello is the second and also the second largest and the second most populated districts of the 6 in Venice. It's still a quite a lively area. I mean, lively for the presence of many residents, not only visitors. On the contrary, here visitors are not so many as in the area around St. Mark's and the Rialto, which are high Diane. Yes, St. Mark's and the Rialto are the most visited places in Venice, and so where you can find many tourists. But as you can see here, I'm surrounded almost by no one, okay, except for these 3 people behind me. So let me turn the camera, let me change camera, and let me show where I am. This is Campo San Francesco della Vigna, a campo, this large extent, this large area here, or what in other cities in Italy we call this piazza. In Venice we call them a campo, that can be translated into fields. So this is Campo San Francesco della Vigna. The name comes from this huge church. I'm showing you the facade now. That is San Francesco della Vigna. So St. Francis of the Vineyard, literally. And actually there really is a vineyard. We can't see it from here because it's inside on the left of the church. There inside there are large fields, grounds belonging to the monastery. It's a Franciscan monastery still operating here, and all come the name and the church originated from donation, a donation of the vineyard, literally, also of the grounds here, to the Franciscan monks in the 13th century to build. The grounds were given to the monks to have a church, Franciscan church built. It's not the one we see today, because the original church doesn't exist anymore, since in the early 16th century, a new church, a larger church, was built, and it's the one we see today. The church was rebuilt, founded by an aristocrat called Andrea Gritti, who would become a doge later. At the time, he was not a Doge, and he was living not far from here. So he donated. He made a large donation to have a new, large church built. And after his death, he was buried here inside it. He's still inside the church of San Francesco della Vigna. If anyone is interested in architecture, I will tell you that the original design was by Jacopo Sansovino. Jacopo Sansovino was an architect from sculptor and architect from Tuscany who went to Rome to work and then finally arrived in Venice. And he worked here extensively. He also died here in Venice. Oh, thank you for what, Linda. Thank you for joining. But the facade is not designed by Sansovino, but it is designed by another important architect, that is Andrea Palladio. So Andrea Palladio here on the front of the church that was left unfinished was finished. Okay, thank you, Linda. So the facade was left unfinished, and a new patron funded the construction of the facade, but he commissioned Andrea Palladio for a new facade. And Andrea Palladio design here is, yes, he is Palladio. Andrea Palladio here designed his first facade for a church. We have two more churches in Venice completely designed by Palladio. One is the Redentore and the other one is San Giorgio. But this is the first ever design in Venice by Palladio. And we can recognize, okay, if you want, I can tell you something more about Palladio and this church. If you are interested, let me know. Otherwise, I can go on. But I do I'm passionate for architecture, and I do like Palladio very much. So if you want, I can continue. Just let me know what you prefer. I don't get offended. Whatever is your choice. Okay, Linda, thank you. So Palladio was a lover of classical architecture, especially Greek architecture, but when he went to Rome, he also started appreciating the Roman architecture that was mainly based on Greek temples. So the problem for Palladio was how to mix facade of a temple with the facade of a church, which is basically very different. And he came out with a solution that we can see also here. So you see the central part, so this rectangle where the doorway is, and on top of the doorway this semicircular window is exactly like the facade of a classical temple, with its column, its giant column, a high basement, very tall basement, on top of which again there are this giant column, and with its capitals, in this case Corinthian capitals. But on the left and the right of the main part of the facade, there is like another facade. You see, there is the pediment here that is interrupted by the main facade. And of course, these two sides include the two aisles. So the central part corresponds inside to the nave, while the two smaller facades include the aisles. So this is the solution that Palladio found to mix his passion for classical architecture, and so to replicate the facade of a temple for a different building like a church is. And I think this is quite a beautiful solution. You should also think that the basement was even higher because in the early 70s there were made a new flooring of the campus was made, and so it was the floor was raised of about 60 centimeters. So you should imagine 6 more centimeters for the basement. So it's even taller than what we can see today. Let me try if I can get inside, just to have a quick look at the interior. So you know that officially I cannot go inside the church with a video camera, but let me try anyway. I want only to offer you just a quick look. There is no one. There is no one watching. I will not go further than that, but I wanted to show you also the interior of this church. A church that is based on the Kabbalah, the measures of the church based on the Kabbalah, and on the number 3. In fact, the church is 3 Venetian feet wide. Venetian foot was an ancient measurement that is about 33 centimeters, and it is 9 Venetian feet long. And also there are 6 chapels on each side. Some of the chapels you see were remodeled in a second moment. For example, that one was remodeled according to the Baroque style in the 16th century. You see, so there are 5 small chapels, but you also have to add the taller one over there. So 6 per side, on each side. Okay. It's a very interesting interior as well. Not only the facade, but also the interior. Let's go out now. So that's okay. Sorry for that again. I can't officially go inside the church with the camera, so I also don't want to disturb. But it's 5 o'clock, and there is not many people around. So let me also show you one of the cloisters of the church. You see, just entering on the side of on the left side of the church. Here we have one of the cloisters. The church has 3 cloisters. This is the second largest. And also is a beautiful space. A couple of cypresses. So the largest cloister is not accessible because so they only open it on certain occasion. For example, on the 4th of October, that is St. Francis Days, St. Francis Day, it can be visited. And on the other, on that larger cloister, the largest of, okay, these are all redstone, you know, that the rich, the way people could afford to pay for being buried in the church, or like in this case, in the cloister as well. Yes, it is correct. It's the Stade St. Francis. Okay, you know that you can take a shot and okay. I was disconnected, but now it should be okay. Just again, please let me know. Oh no, it was me. So if it's okay now, I hope so. I can continue. So also here, yes, it was the place. It was inside there that there was not much signal. But okay, in this case, I can't see the strength of the signal because the whole screen is occupied by the shot. So that's why I didn't realize it. Okay, so we are now on the side of the church, the right side of the church, which is also beautiful to have a look, especially for this portal, this stone portal around the side entrance here. Let me show you. Maybe I can go a little bit back. Excuse me one moment. I can show you the side of the church. And also this beautiful campo. It's always called Campo San Francesco. So this side here, and from here we can see the right side of the church. And again, this beautiful few trees here. And from here we can also see the Campanile, the bell tower of San Francesco, which is one of the tallest. And you're blurred, I'm sorry. If I don't know if it is me or I can tell you. The Campanile is one of the tallest in Venice, and it is designed like the Campanile di San Marco, like St. Mark's Bell Tower. And it's almost, I wouldn't say as tall as that, but it's a bit shorter. Campanile di San Marco is the tallest structure in Venice because it's almost 100 meters tall. Yes, it's a beautiful sky, that's right. This morning it was raining and was quite grey. And then at about lunchtime, it changed. Okay, many dogs are coming here. It changed, and it's beautiful sunny blue. But also we know that tomorrow it will be bad again. It's gonna get worse, and the forecast says lots of rainfall tomorrow and Tuesday. But let's take advantage of this beautiful day, this beautiful Sunday. And now I'm going a little bit east than San Francesco, and I want to bring you to another very secluded area. We call it Celestia. Celestia. And I will tell you why in a moment. I will be there just in a couple of minutes, even less. This is an area that is where not only the monastery, the Franciscan monastery is, but there is also a nunnery. Nunnery with, I must say, quite a few nuns there, more than monks in the monastery. And this is the building here on the left is the church of the nunnery. And you see that the church is connected to this building on the left. And finally, sorry. And finally, I'm going to the Celestia, which is now mainly the Campo, which is a popular place. You see there are children playing, kids playing now. Again, it's a Sunday afternoon, beautiful Sunday afternoon, so people take advantage of the good weather. So this is Campo della Celestia, and its name comes from a monastery, another one, not monastery, sorry, a nunnery, that was dedicated to the lady. Celestia come from the word celestial. Celeste, Santa Maria Celeste, our celestial lady. And Celeste became sometime in Venetian Celestia. And what I'm showing you now, this long building opposite, was part of that nunnery. Okay, I must say that the nuns of Celestia they were ill-famed because they were famous for letting their lovers in, and they were also lovers of music. I must say, you also have to think that many of these ladies at the time were forced into becoming a nun. Most of them came from rich families, wealthy families, aristocratic families that decided to send, if they had more than one daughters, decided to send one of them, into a nunnery. So we also have to imagine that being forced, they try to enjoy themselves somehow. But this one, Celestia, the nunnery of Celestia, was really probably the most famous for let's say, for parties. And in fact, the patriarch, you know that the Archbishop of Venice is called still today a patriarch. The patriarch, I'm talking of periods starting from the 15th or 16th centuries. The patriarch himself came to discipline them, but he was literally sent out. Yes, he was thrown out of the place, and and this continued until the monastery was closed. Well, more recently it was not like that, but the nunnery was closed in the early 19th century, in the early 19th century, when the French government, when Venice was ruled by the French, and at that time many churches were closed, many monasteries and nunneries were closed, and so this was one of them. And part of it was also demolished. And you see those crenellated walls. This is behind these walls, there is the Arsenale. We are very so close to this huge shipyard that was the Arsenal of Venice. Part of the monastery was taken, part of the building that was the nunnery of Celestia was taken by the Arsenal. And so after that, the church was demolished. We don't have anymore the church of Santa Maria Celeste. And the building that I showed you earlier today is the municipal archive, the town archive, very important place for the documents that are stored in there. And many of the artworks that were inside the church were moved elsewhere, other churches or museums. So now I'm walking along this small canal, and the wall on the right, the brick wall, this huge brick wall on the right, is the wall enclosing the Arsenale. While these buildings that you see around here, you can say by yourselves that they are very recent compared to the rest of buildings that we can see in Venice. In fact, these buildings were built in the early 20th century, 1910s and 20s, and they were built to give a better house, a better accommodation to the Venetian that used to live in the center, but they could not afford healthy, clean, and lit houses. So, especially in these areas that are on the edges of the cities that were still empty. So, like this one, new buildings were built, new residential buildings were built, just in order to give these people a better dwelling. Talking about edges, I'm arrived now at the edge, the northern edge of the city. And you see, if I'm pointing now, I'm pointing the camera west, not really west, it's a little bit northwest. West is that way. And along this side is the border of the cities that faces over the lagoon. And this, of course, is the part of the lagoon that we call simply Northern Lagoon. And from here, we can see a few of islands, which are quite famous, I guess. Let me show them to you anyway. First of all, this one, that from here we can see completely covered with trees, mainly cypresses. This is the island of San Michael, which is the cemetery of Venice. This island became a cemetery again during the French government in the early 19th century, when it was finally forbidden to bury people in the cities, in the city limits. And so there were two islands here that finally merged because land was reclaimed, and the two islands became one, and we call it simply San Michele, even though we should say San Michele and San Cristoforo, which San Cristoforo was the name of the other islands finally merged with San Michele. It's an island only for a few days in the early November. A temporary bridge is built between the northern side of Venice and the island of San Michele, so that people can go or can walk there and pay their tributes to the loving ones. This is another island over there that can be, you can see that white tower, it's a lighthouse, and that is the island of Murano. And Murano is famous for being the place where glass factories are. Beautiful glass of Murano is manufactured over there, very close to the city. Taking a boat from here, it takes only, I mean, oh, I'm glad, Cynthia. You see, this one is a water bus stop. If you take a bus from here, a boat from here, you can reach San Michele in a couple of minutes and Murano in about 10 minutes. And let's see, we are quite lucky because at the bottom, in a distance, but let me try the zoom. Okay, why doesn't go? Yes, Linda. And I was going to show you Burano. Okay, so just okay, that one. This one is Burano. And Burano also can be seen from afar, distinguished from the other because, sorry. Okay, you see there is a tower on the right. That tower is leaning a bit to the right. Okay, probably we can't say it now from here, and I'm using the zoom. And again, the image may not be very neat, very clean. But Murano in a clear day like today can be seen, and the campanile, the bell tower of the church, of the main church over there, is clearly visible because it's a leaning tower. So Burano can be reached not really from here, or at least you can take a boat here and then change it to another route that takes you to Burano in about 40 minutes. I do tours from Burano, so just remember to follow my channel and turn the notification on so that you can see when I'm scheduling new tours. And now I'm pointing the camera west, and you see that along the wall, yes, that's correct, Linda. I do prefer, well, actually, I must say, I do prefer Mazzorbo to Burano. It's much more interesting. Of course, Burano is famous, it's picturesque, the colored house, the lace, etc. But Mazzorbo has a totally unique atmosphere. But let me see if I will do another tour from Mazzorbo and Burano, also here on YouTube. And I was saying that along the northern side, the northern wall here of the Arsenale, there is this deck that can be walked and going just up to there. You see that area there, that is, it's part of the Arsenale, but recently it was converted into offices, exhibition places, so you can reach it. You can reach it just walking along this deck, and it is. Let's go there now for a moment, because it is a nice place very strange, very odd, even for Venice. There is nothing else like this in Venice. A suspended platform that goes over the water and along the walls of the Arsenale. There it is. Again, walls of the Arsenale, northern wall, the deck that you can take to walk up to there. Okay, these short, small buildings are actually residences, while the taller ones used to be part of the Arsenal, part of the shipyard, but today have different function. So let me pan again to show you the view from here over the lagoon. So you see also other islands, like for example that one is the second largest island of the lagoon, second after Venice, and it's called San Terasmo. Very few people live there. Most of the area, most of the island is fields, agricultural fields. So you see that one. That one is a monastery island. Let me try to. Okay, that one is a monastery island, still working today, still operating today. It's a Franciscan monastery, and the island is called San Francesco del Deserto. So, like a little bit like the San Francesco della Vigna we saw at the beginning of the tour. So again, Burano over there. And again, Murano with its white lighthouse. And finally, again, the island, the cemetery island of San Michele. But now that I'm higher, I can also show, yes, it is Linda. I can also show the northern edge of the city. And there is also beautiful light. Okay, when I was talking of water buses, this is one. This is one of them. Yes, that's true, Cynthia. Okay, I think we can close the end the tour now. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for the comments, keeping company also. That was, oh, it's always nice. Just a reminder for my next tour. I will go tomorrow. It's a Monday, but it's a national holiday in Italy, and not only in Italy. It's Labor Day, and I'm going to the Jewish ghetto tomorrow afternoon. Some of you may remember that I was there last week, but something didn't work, so I was not able to do the tour, and I'm going to do it tomorrow afternoon, 5:30 Italian time, PM, of course, from the Jewish ghetto. And I also have scheduled another tour on YouTube, but I must confess that I don't remember when. And yes, I did it a few hours ago when I was at home, but now I don't remember. So sorry for that. But again, if you I'm so sorry. If you follow me on, if you have subscribed and you give a and check my channel, you will see my next Thank you, Linda, for being here. You will see my next tours. Also, I will start doing tours on another platform that is called The Globetrotters, and I added the link on the channel description. So if I haven't scheduled the tours yet over there, but I will do soon. So if you want to follow also through the Globetrotters, you are very welcome. So again, you will find. Thank you very much, Satya. You will find the links on for this platform called the Globetrotters on my channel, on my YouTube channels, and also if you want to buy me a coffee, you can find the links again in my channel page, YouTube channel page. Again, thank you very much. Oops, I wanted to. Oh, thank you, Linda. Thank you very much for being with me. And hopefully, I will see you also tomorrow afternoon in about 24 hours from the Jewish ghetto, which is not very far from here. Same northern area of the city. Grazie e arrivederci. Ciao.